Hi there, and welcome to Films According to Chris Wyatt. Today's movie is X-Men Apocalypse.
You know, as far as I'm concerned, the X-Men movies, which of course are based on the long-running Marvel comic series, have averaged out pretty well when all is said and done. Out of the 8 previous films, you've got 2 that are pretty awesome, 2 that are, well, pretty terrible, and the rest have ranged from decent to pretty good. That said, there's been something that's bothered me about this series for a while now. It's that the series has ultimately just been jogging in place for a little too long. It's never been a deal breaker, but the X-Men movies haven't really evolved much beyond the defending those who hate us premise. I guess Days of Future Past added a time travel element to the series, but that basically just served as a way to retcon the 2 bad movies out of existence. And while Deadpool was different, well, that one was just basically a fun side story. Is X-Men Apocalypse the one to finally break the trend?
Short answer, no. No, it is not.
In this film, oh, by the way, for continuity's sake, it's set in the 80s in what's now the post-Days of Future Past alternate timeline. Charles Xavier and his band of merry mutants face off against Apocalypse, a centuries-old mutant who amasses powers and was once worshipped as a god. After awakening from a 1,000-year slumber, he sets his sights on Professor X to utilize his telepathic powers and wipe out most of humanity. And if you happen to notice that a lot of that plot was very similar to the story from X2, well, you've spotted the film's first problem. That's not to say that that makes the movie bad necessarily. No, it's bad for other more substantial reasons. It doesn't quite sink to the lows of X-Men The Last Stand, nor does it bomb as badly as Origins Wolverine, but it feels like probably the most forgettable and uninspired film in the series, which is really saying something when your film has a super mutant villain with the ability to destroy the world in what's essentially one fell swoop.
Together we will cleanse the earth.
Everything they've built will fall! And from the ashes of their world, we'll build a better one!
When all is said and done, the movie never rises above anything other than just mediocre.
It just feels like the series has finally hit a brick wall, like it's run out of interesting directions to take the series. The story is another rehash, and the film doesn't do enough with its new villain to justify the repetitiveness. Apocalypse has a cool backstory and a kind of cool look, but there's nothing about him that really stands out. His plan is cliched, his motivations are dull, and I won't spoil anything, but the film ends in probably the most uninspired and predictable way possible. The movie's cast is generally okay, but there's nobody that really stands out this time around. Nobody is overtly terrible, but everyone, even the heavy hitters from First Class like James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, or Nicholas Hoult feel like they're just going through the motions. Not even Oscar Isaac, despite his newfound stardom from a series of killer performances, feels wasted as Apocalypse.
Though it's Jennifer Lawrence that probably fares the worst. Which is unfortunate, because I actually really like her as an actress. It's just, well, ever since she's become one of the biggest stars on the planet, it seems she's totally checked out of this series.
Bryan Singer returns in the director's chair once again, but like everyone else, he feels like he's on autopilot. There are a few cool shots throughout the film, but everything from actor chemistry, action, and effects just feel kind of meh. Actually, no, I take that last part back. The effects don't just look meh, they look absolutely terrible. Seriously, the CGI in this movie look like something the Sci-Fi Network would be ashamed to air. Everything else just feels oddly out of place. For every decent scene, there's an awkward one. There are funny moments that seem like they should be serious, and serious moments that don't carry enough emotional weight. Not to mention, there's an out-of-place midpoint detour where the movie changes its location to William Stryker's base so Wolverine can have a cameo. Seriously, it has practically nothing to do with the rest of the story, and seems like it was just thrown in as a result of some last-minute reshoots.
Cause yeah, God forbid you have an X-Men movie without Wolverine.
There's not much else to say about X-Men Apocalypse. Not the worst thing ever, not the worst X-Men movie, not even the worst superhero film released this year, but I can't think of anything about it to recommend. I give X-Men Apocalypse 2.5 stars out of 5.
Alright, thanks for watching this video. Let me know what you thought of X-Men Apocalypse by leaving me a comment below. And if you like what you saw and you want to see more, click subscribe and tune in next week for a new video. I've also got links to some of my previous videos and links to my social media pages in the description box below. I'll see you next time.